Because with climate change, with global warming, what is happening is that on the Russian coast side, do understand this one? On the Russian coast, there is a melting of the sea ice, and it is becoming easier. Previously, you needed to use a lot of heavy icebreaker ships. There are certain sectors where there is no need for an icebreaker ship also, and therefore this route which you see here, I'll mark it in a different color. This route which you see here is now emerging as a very interesting way of going from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and it is reducing by kilometers at least 700 to 800 kilometers, or rather what is called as nautical miles is reduced. At the same point of time, it can reduce it by 16 to 18 hours. And therefore, the Northern Sea route is emerging as a very important alternative sea route to going to the Indian Ocean or from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the context, this is the static concept which is being talked about quite a lot now, because there's a cascading effect. Do understand this point? It is not a good thing, because previously this whole circle or this whole sector was under ice because of climate change and global warming. Now this sector is emerging. The fact that Donald Trump is talking about Greenland too much and a lot nowadays is the fact that he also understands how the Arctic Circle and the Arctic Ocean is going to become very important as a route which can bypass most of the three sea routes, including the Straits of Malacca. At the same point of time, it is also very cost effective. As one of you said, it's a very cost effective route, reduces time, reduces fuel, and you only need now one escorting icebreaker and any container ship can go through this sector. So the first thing which you should know for this article is what is this Northern Sea route and why is it so important. Now, previously this sector, the Arctic Ocean, this sector, North Pole, used to have scientific purpose. The magnetic pole, the idea that how does gravity, magnetism and Earth's spin change, the way sunlight affects what we call as human circadian cycles. Previously the purpose of the Arctic Ocean was scientific. India has a scientific station there also, Himadri. But recently the interest of the Russians, the Chinese and the Americans, but specifically Russians and Chinese, has become more economic than scientific and has become more political than apolitical. And this is where what this article points out is that we need to rethink our outlook, because India's Arctic policy is still geared towards science, towards scientific discovery. It is apolitical, and apolitical stance makes no sense as of right now. Rather, it has to be a more geopolitically driven stance, and that is where he's giving certain solutions. But let's try to develop this further if you understand the geography I'm talking about. If you understand this geography and if you understand why is this so important, this Arctic Ocean, this Northern Sea route, for Russia it is a new lifeline, and for the world it